Welcome to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
If I keep this tunnel vision, I'm not really living. Don't wanna give into the dark. The only thing that matters is that this vision shatters and the darkness breaks apart. To find the beautiful, 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 find the beautiful.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Plush.
Nice. All you ladies, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Bella Prawn, and I play guitar in the band.
Hello, I'm Mariah Formica, and I play rhythm guitar and lead vocals.
Nice.
Hey, I'm Ashley Supa, and I play bass and sing backing vocals. Hi, I'm Faith Powell, and I play drums.
Nice. So, you're here at Welcome to Rockville. Have you guys played Welcome to Rockville before?
Yes, actually, we were here 2 years ago, and we are so excited to be back. The last time here is like one of my absolute favorite shows we've ever played, so I'm so excited for today.
It's the coolest venue, isn't it? Like,
oh my gosh, for
here you are
sure.
looking at the Daytona Speedway, you know, like one of the most iconic speedways ever. Did you get to drive through the speedway?
Yes, we did. That was so cool. Honestly, like, aside from the show and everything and getting to see all the sets, it's like also just a highlight of like, you know, we take our RV on the speedway. It's
right.
Like one of those very surreal experiences for sure.
I know the feeling because, like, I do a lot of festivals and, like, I come to this one and I'll, like, text everybody, check it out, I'm driving on the Daytona Speedway. Like, that's more exciting.
Right? It's pretty wild. Definitely the coolest spot to have a festival for sure.
No doubt. And you got a lucky day here because it's Florida and it's actually kind of cool. So it's
For sure.
It's rough to play in Florida. I mean,
Yes.
there were people passing out like the past few days.
Really?
Well, because it gets so hot and
Right.
humid. And then thinking you guys up on stage when it's that hot and humid and and the sun's beating down. So let's hope it just stays like this all day.
Fingers crossed for sure.
And you will be shocked from last time because I think the crowd this year has been the biggest DWP crowd I've ever seen. And I don't know if that's fact, but it seems that way to me. Like, just no matter where you went, there were crowds. So you're going to have a big crowd out there today.
No way. We are so excited for sure. I feel like the past few days I keep seeing it all over social media, you know, pictures from the crowds and the shows, and it just looks like such an incredible time. We can't wait.
Yeah, totally. So what can we expect from you from a live show for those listeners that have never attended a live show and now will have to go to Sonic Temple to catch you?
Yeah, so from a live show, what you can expect is, I guess, an energy-packed set and just real, raw, straight-up rock and roll. Just plug in and play.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time.
And so what, for each of you, what really started this musical journey and how did you all connect?
Well, for me, I kind of started out with, I played guitar first at like 6 years old, and then I figured out that I liked to sing at like 10, and then kind of just went around doing open mic nights and stuff like that, and then it kind of grew from there. And
Nice.
then here we are today.
Yeah, for me, I started playing guitar when I was 5. Like my dad owns a music store, so I was just always around instruments and music. And so, yeah, but about that age, I decided, you know, that's what I want to do. So it's kind of just been guitar nonstop ever since.
Nice.
I started playing, if you would call it that, guitar when I was around 5 or 6. It's more so playing with a guitar, I guess.
Right.
My dad was a guitar player. He still is. He played in a band with Mike Starr from Alice in Chains. He would jam with Ace Frehley from Kiss. So I grew up watching him play, and he just inspired me so much, and I knew that was what I wanted to do. So when I was around 11 years old, I started going to the School of Rock, and I ended up going from guitar to bass because they needed a bass player. And for some reason, I guess there weren't enough for the show that year. So I was just like, okay, I think I have a bass. I think I know what that looks like. like. So we had one in my house, and then I picked up bass, and then I couldn't put it down ever since.
So, trivia question: do you know who's the one of the most famous bassists in history who was actually a guitar player, and because the band already had 2 guitarists, he had to play bass?
Who?
Paul McCartney.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, he was not a bassist, and that's why now if you go listen to Beatles music and you listen to his bass,
It's so melodic.
yeah, he sounds like he's
treats it
playing
it's a
guitar.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, that's why he's one of my favorite bass players of all time.
See?
I just think he's brilliant.
See, so you followed his footsteps and you didn't even know it.
Well, thank you. For me, it started out as for my 10th birthday, I got a drum set. And then I loved going to concerts too. My parents would take me, and every time I went, I'd be like, oh wow, I wish I could do that. I wish I could play on that stage. And just going to shows, doing that with my family, it really motivated me to keep on going and working hard. And I joined local bands when I was 16, just playing around the area. And then after I graduated high school, I joined Plush, and now we're here.
Nice. And that first time you were on stage from, like, wishing to be there, did it hit you while you're on stage or after stage where you're like, oh my God, I got here?
Yeah, definitely on stage. It's like such a rewarding moment, like looking back at the times I was like, oh, just like wait 5 years and like so much will be different. Just thinking back like that, we're like, you never know what the future could be like. So it's super cool to see now that we're here playing Welcome to Rockville, and I'm super grateful to be here.
Nice. And so how did you all connect?
So we kind of connected through social media, more or less. Ashley and I kind of started out together, and we were jamming and stuff. And then we put out a PSA for a guitar player, and then that's how we found Bella. Yeah. And then Faith the same way.
Very cool.
More or less social media. It's kind of like during the lockdown, you know, and it was like, what else were we going to do? But thank God we found each other.
There's the positive of the lockdown.
Right.
There are positives. It was a shit time, but there are positives, you know? And that's one of them. I think one of the other positives is that artists like yourself were able to sit and create without being bums rushed into go here, go there, and like, okay, produce this song, write this song in 2 seconds, and don't check it over, don't change it, because we need to put it out right away. So COVID gave you a chance to be actually creative.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So what is, if you're, each one of you, one moment that is like the most memorable moment of your musical journey so far, what would it be?
Gosh, it's hard to pick just one. I feel like there's so many pinch me moments, especially like Mariah was saying, like since COVID, all of us were fresh out of high school, and then the band just kind of has been on this, crazy, nonstop roll of like just tours and shows. And gosh, there's been so many moments. I'd say for sure is playing, the bigger festivals and seeing a crowd this size, like something, you'd only dream of as a kid.
Right.
And for me, it's been getting to also meet and see a lot of like my guitar heroes up close and like watch their playing and just feel more and more inspired to like, still feeling like I'm a kid on the inside.
Nice. And so who are your guitar heroes?
For ones like people we've met, is for like when we opened for Slash, that was like the coolest tour.
Wow.
For me as a guitar player, just, a player I worship for sure. Some of my other influences are like Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and Nuno Betancourt, all like, 80s and 90s Shrek guys. So it's like any chance too for like seeing, some of our favorite bands live. It's definitely just kind of surreal for sure.
See, I love who you pick because they're all like true musicians.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
they're all so inspiring.
Like there isn't a lot of them that are today because maybe it's because of the times that, you kind of take that stuff out of the songs. A lot of bands have to take out the bridge, the solos, and all that. So you don't really get to see the true talent like the names you mentioned. So that's so cool that somebody today, that's where you're getting your vibe from.
Thank you so much. And I think that's definitely something we all try to have in mind too for our live sets of like, sometimes jam parts or added solos or whatnot. You might not, make the cut on the record, but having that energy live and that time to add in fun little flares like that, that's something we love to do for sure. And we're definitely excited to do that today as well.
Very cool. What other stories do we have here that are like memorable that are those pinch me moments for each one of you?
I would say a big pinch me moment for me was when we got the chance to tour with Evanescence and Hailstorm.
Wow.
Because Lizzie and Amy are literally two of my biggest heroes, huge vocal inspirations. And it was a total pinch me moment. For them.
Nice. Yeah. And they
that's
are.
What comes to mind for me.
They are I don't think there's anybody out there except maybe you that has a better voice than Amy Lee. She's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's ridiculous.
And what
angelic.
a role model for her and,
Absolutely.
Lizzie Hale. Both huge role models that I think are part of changing this industry because there's so many more badass women out there now in this industry because of people like them.
Right. Exactly. They really kind of opened it up.
Yeah.
And allowed us to do what we do. So
Exactly. Which I think is cool because, I don't know, I think the women are way cooler than the men because women have passion and this emotion and that should be in music.
Yes, absolutely.
How about you?
I agree. Women are way cooler than men.
There you go.
I would say one of my pinch me moments was probably the first show that we did on the Alice in Chains tour. I grew up listening to them all the time. They're my favorite band. And I remember getting ready for that show and getting onto the stage. And then I just looked over to my right and I saw, some of the bands that we were touring with standing to the right of me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I better play the best show I've ever played in my life. And I don't know if I did or not. I hope I did. But that whole tour in itself was just a dream. And there were so many amazing people in the bands and the crew. It couldn't have been a better time in my life. I think that was the happiest time in my entire life.
I love it.
A big moment for me was when we were on the Disturbed tour playing the Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. I would always see my favorite bands play there, like Slipknot, Foo Fighters, and then we got to play it. I thought it was such a cool moment because I would just go to my friends wishing, oh, I hope I can play that stage one day, but never knew if it'd really happen. So that was a super special moment for me too, and it being the first hometown show with me and Plush.
There you go. See, that's a special moment too, right? You play that hometown show and then all the people you've known are like, whoa, she's up on stage.
Yeah, it was so cool, especially my family and all my friends being able to come out. Yeah, it's great to have that support too there.
Absolutely. And would all you girls say that your family were huge supporters of this? Because that's so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my family definitely was. When I was 16, I couldn't drive yet. They would take me to every band rehearsal I had. They'd drive hours, wait for the rehearsal, and then drive me back. They did whatever they could to get me where I'm at now.
See, that's so cool because nowadays that's the way it is. There's a lot of parents out there that are super supportive of creative talent. In my day, it was oh, you want to be a musician? Get a real job. Stop playing around with that and get a real job. Or I would sit there playing guitar and my dad would be like, you better figure out something else to do because you suck, because he didn't like metal. So he was expecting me to play Frank Sinatra or something like that. So what else you got going on? You have a new EP that dropped in January. Let's talk about that.
Yes, we have a new EP that dropped in January. It's called Find the Beautiful. And we're actually on our very first headline tour called the Find the Beautiful Tour.
Nice.
So that's super exciting. And then we have today, which is awesome. And then we're doing Sonic Temple as well.
Another iconic Danny Wimmer festival.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're so excited.
Have
we've never
you played
been there.
that? You haven't played?
No, we've never been there.
So, and it's this big stadium. You'll be playing a stadium show. It's an iconic venue.
That's a first for us. We've never done a stadium before, so this will be amazing and the first time for this, and we're so excited.
Very cool.
I know, I can't even picture playing a stadium.
Right?
That's pretty ridiculous.
I'm so excited because Sonic Temple has been one of those dream festivals for me. Since I was, little kid, starting to play guitar. I'm like, oh my God, I'd always hear of Sonic Temple, and it's this sounds like the coolest festival ever. And so we're so stoked to be a part of Rockville and Sonic Temple, both back to back, 2 weekends in a row.
Two iconic venues, iconic festivals. To me, that's a pinch me moment too, right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
So, I also ask a lot of people this. Well, let's get your all your socials, your merch store, because that's important. You guys support merch and all that, and anything else that we missed that you want the listeners to know about.
Yeah, so you could find us at Plush Rocks on Instagram and Twitter, and then we are Plush Official on Facebook, and you can get merch and see our tour dates and find our EP as well on plushrocks.net. And as far as anything else, I guess thank you so much for the support and for listening, and thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for being here at Welcome to Rockville, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, this is Bella Perron.
This is Mariah Formica.
This is Ashley Supa. This is Faith Powell, and we're on W4CY Radio.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.